Hey guys, it's that Wolf Guy, and should you buy an iPad 6? Let's find out. The iPad 9.7 inch, also known as the iPad 2018, also known as the iPad 6th generation, has a pretty standard iPad design. It's not really changed much since you probably last used an iPad, and if you own one, it will be very familiar. That's not necessarily a bad thing though. The design's very nice, and it feels very premium. I don't really have a problem with the iPad design, and I doubt that you really will either. The iPad 9.7 inch has iOS 12 on it, though it comes with iOS 11. Overall, it feels very nice and quick. Things like multitasking are very smooth, and to be honest, though the tablet only has 2 gigs of RAM, it runs pretty well, even when you have multiple apps open at once. And another huge benefit to using an iPad is that you will get several years of support and software updates, so that's very nice to see. And that's a huge advantage over an Android tablet, per se. On top of that, you won't have to worry about it bending, and you still will be able to use all your favorite apps like YouTube and Netflix. Overall, I am very impressed with just using this tablet in general. However, should you go pay about twice the price to get a Pro? Well, it honestly depends on your preference. If you're wanting a powerhouse, then you might want the Pro. Not that this isn't fairly powerful, as it does get by, even though it has only 2 gigs of RAM. It still feels reasonably smooth, and I don't ever really run into any problems with iOS or any of the apps it runs. However, you are going to miss out on the bezel-less design, Face ID, and all that stuff, which, depending on your preferences, could be a bit of a problem. The iPad has a 2048 by 1536p Retina screen with a resolution at 264 pixels per inch. It looks nice and is great for consuming content. I enjoy watching YouTube on it since it's good size and the screen is very nice and vibrant. It's cool to see that there's such a nice screen on a tablet that starts at $329. Unfortunately, the screen is not laminated, so there are those kind of black bars around it, and it does seem to be kind of housed beneath the glass, but it doesn't really bug you when you use it. Overall, the speakers on the iPad are nice and loud, which is nice to see on a tablet's price. It might not be the most exciting Apple tablet out there, but it is a nice solid tablet. If you're on a budget but want an iPad, then this is the best way to go in my opinion. Coming in a bit cheaper than even the iPad mini, which is 3 years old, whereas this is less than a year old. Overall, I definitely recommend buying the iPad 6 if you don't want to spend the money on a Pro.